Now, let us understand the functions of an entrepreneur. See, the first function of an entrepreneur is an entrepreneurial function. That means the first entrepreneurial function is to innovate. Now, he should be ready to make a new product or market a product into a new place, that is, find a new marketplace for a product or find a new source of raw material. He should, to give you examples, mobile phones, induction cookware, that is your induction cooktop, even your solar energy, wind energy, all these are innovations which have happened in this century, and they have brought or they have marked a birth of an entrepreneur as such. The second function is he should be able to take risk. Okay, he should reduce the uncertainty in his plan or her plan of investment. He should be capable enough of diversifying the production and expanding the enterprise. As I have been telling you, just inventing one product and sitting over it doesn't makes you successful. You need to keep on innovating or think about ways of expanding the enterprise. He should be willing to assume the risk which is involved in the innovations. He should ensure that the ventures and expansion of an existing venture keeps on happening on a continuous basis. See, first thing is, not all the innovations which we do will pass. Most of the times it is like, if I do 10 innovations, only one would be successful. So you should be, as an entrepreneur, ready to take that risk of 9 times getting failed and then on the 10th time getting a success. Other thing is, as a venture, you should be in a position to constantly think of expanding your venture and ensuring that your enterprise is successful. The next is building the organization. See, organization building is the main function as such for an entrepreneur. So, organization and management are considered to be the most important and the main function of entrepreneurship. Here, what they have to do is they have to ensure the resources are allocated in such a way that the losses are minimized and the cost of production is reduced. When you are starting a business, what will happen? When you start a business, there would be too much of scarcity of resources. You won't have too many funds to handle, so you won't have too much of money. Then not many people, because you are a startup, so not many people would be willing to get associated with you. So you would have limited manpower, limited funds, and even limited other resources which are available. Okay, so at that time it should be your organizational and building capacity wherein you are able to utilize those resources which are there, the limited resources, to maximum extent and get the most benefits of those resources which are available. Now, the next comes your promotional functions. What is that? They should discover an idea. What does that mean? See, they should be able to visualize the opportunities and its profitability. Like I gave you the example of that sachet packets. Now we have these Tetra packs for milk products. For milk, when you buy earlier, you have now two options. Like either you get those packaged milk which comes in the plastic. Okay. Otherwise, you nowadays get Tetra packs. Okay. So these are all innovations which have happened over the time. So these were the entrepreneurs who were able to see an opportunity, see a market and make it into a profitable venture. They have been able to exploit new areas of natural resources. Now, more profitable venture or existing line of business. So what they have been able to do, they have been able to go ahead and exploit, let's say, an area of natural resources like solar energy would be an example out here. Come out with a more profitable venture, okay, or they would consider an existing line of business which is already there, but they would come up with something innovative so that that existing line of business becomes successful. Now, to give you an example, one other example here would be Karshan Bhai Patel. Now, he was already working with a company when he came up with this Nirma washing powder, because he realized that the people of a lower income group were unable to buy the costly detergents in the market. So, he came up with this low cost washing powder which became an instant hit, and then he left his job and started Nirma washing powder company. Now the company has grown on to become a big company. As such, it has grown 10 times from where it started. The second example which I already gave you was about Mahesh Gupta. So he was the founder of the Kent RO, wherein water purifiers, he started with water purifiers, and this product came into market only because his children suffered from a waterborne disease at that time when they were staying in Delhi, and he realized the purifiers in India are not up to the mark and need to come up with a water purifier. Now once he was done with water purifier, he also came up with these oil meters which test quality. So here you can see how he has been diversifying into various areas so that the entrepreneurship, the enterprise keeps running and is always profitable. The next is detailed investigation. See, the promotional function of detailed investigation involves you should be able to estimate the total demand of the product. When I am saying that I have introduced, let's say, noodles in the market, so I should be able to estimate the demand. Let's take an example how we do it. Suppose you want to introduce a cooker. You would be using all this in your family. Your mom would be using a cooker on a daily basis. Now, how would you estimate the demand? First thing, you will estimate the population of India. Then, you will assume this, that let's say every household has 4 members, okay, and then you will come out with a percentage of those households which are using cooker for their cooking. Now not everyone would be having a cooker, like the people in the remote areas or in the villages don't use cookers, so those will have to be excluded. Now the remaining households, you will have to see how many of them have at least one cooker. So you will have to do this demand analysis and come to a conclusion that how many cookers would be required for you to sell in the market, how much demand is there. Now again remember, cooker, the example I am giving you about is a cooker is already there in the market. This one already companies were selling it. So then you have to even take that into consideration when you are estimating the demand for your product. You have to arrange resources. Now once the demand has been estimated, you need to start the manufacture process if you think it's a viable idea. So you require finance, equipments, power, material, etc. to start running your business or setting up your business. You need to do a proper analysis of your idea. You just cannot say that okay, I know this is the demand, but then you need to see if a competitor comes in, then what. So you need to analyze all the possibilities before starting a venture. Then you should start with assembling the requirement, that is whatever we have discussed out here, finance, equipments, everything. You need to start assembling those and then enter into preliminary contracts. Preliminary contracts would be entering into your first contract with the vendor, the person who would be supplying you the raw material, or entering into your first person who would be the first customer of your business. So these are all preliminary contracts which need to be signed. Now the next comes is promotional function. Now what is that? See, once you know that okay, these are the requirements the business have, now to start your business, let's say you get a big order, okay, there is a prospective order that you need to satisfy this order, but to manufacture it you require raw material, and for that raw material you require finance. So then all these things have to be estimated. You need to estimate the requirements of your finance, decide what would be the sources of money. It could be through seed financing, it could be through an investor investing in your business, or a loan, that is a loan taken from financial institutions or bank, or it could be with your own money. Just to give you an example, when Narayan Murthy started Infosys, he actually took his wife's money, which was that is from Sudha Murthy, rupees 10,000, and then he started Infosys. So you need to find out the sources of finance before you venture into a business. Let's now talk about the managerial functions of an entrepreneur. The first function is to plan. What does he plan? See, this is a basic managerial function wherein he will plan what should I do, how it would be done, and when should I do it. So once you have an idea, you need to plan what would be the further course of action, how finance would be arranged or how other requirements would be met, and when do we start the business or when do we enter the market. So the decision making has to be done in advance. Then comes your staffing. Now you cannot just start your business all alone, you need to have a proper staff. So you would then go ahead and appoint people for various positions and start the organizational process. Then comes directing. Now what is directing? You carry out your desired plans. What do? You organize, you plan, you ensure effective performance for accomplishment of your goals. Then the other function is leadership. Now what does that mean? See, leadership is nothing but influencing the human resources in a positive manner so that the goals can be achieved. Now remember, the employees are not innovators, and then they are just working for money or they are coming here to work for salary. So what happens here is they need to be constantly motivated to ensure that the organizational goal has been achieved. The next comes is your managerial function. The managerial function is about motivation, supervising, coordinating and controlling. That is, you keep on motivating the employees on a regular basis, you supervise them and direct them in case if they are going wrong, you coordinate among other resources so that the resources work in tandem together and you achieve the goal, and then you also control the resources so that the desired output can be achieved. Then comes the commercial functions. Now what are those? First, production, that is creation of goods or services which you intend to sell to the consumer. Then you will go ahead and carry out the activities of production. Now these activities of production, remember, would be independent of the size of the undertaking. So the production can be at a large scale or the production can be at a small scale depending on the size of the venture, but then the production activities remain the same irrespective of what kind of enterprise you are. Then you need to ensure that the finance is available for development and expansion of enterprise. See, first we required finance for starting the organization. Now once our organization is up and running, we need to think about future, we need to expand. So then at that time the funds are required or more commitment for funds is required at that time. Then comes marketing. People will buy your products only when they know about it. If they do not know about it, they won't be interested in buying the product because they don't have any knowledge about it. So marketing of products also become necessary. So advertisements in the dailies or coming up with an ad on the TV or ensuring that you are present at exhibitions or trade centers wherein people can come to know about your product becomes necessary. Then comes accounting. Now accounting is nothing but as a commercial function you need to see all the efforts which you are taking, the ones which we discussed right now, are they turning you into a profitable venture or not. So if it is not, then you'll have to take corrective action. So accounting helps you in understanding that.